welcome to our new series, Pop, which is Power of Play. This series is only going to be focused on mental health. And I know you guys are like, you just did a series on mental health, but this one's special because we're doing it during the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we are working with Safe in Our World, who is an amazing organization doing amazing things for the gaming industry and gamers just like you and me. So I would like to introduce our guest, Rosie.
Hi.
And I
Hello.
didn't forget, I'm going to introduce Matt.
No, you forgot. You 100% forgot.
I did not forget.
You forgot. You forgot. You forgot. Hi, everyone.
My lovely co-host,
Not
Matt.
bitter.
Matt. Okay. So if we always start off like this, we're really chill. So Rosie, don't feel like you have to be mad professional because like what's professional?
I'm never mad professional. It's okay.
You're going to do well here. Don't worry.
Yeah, perfect. But before we get into what we're going to be doing for the month of May, and before we jump into what Safe in Our World does, we kind of want to like introduce you to the beautiful Rosie. And so I'm going to hand the microphone over to her, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself.
This is always the worst part of what I do because I am so bad. Like you'd think that I would get used to talking about myself, but I don't.
Never.
Oh, and I see a cat just entered my room, so that's a great start.
I love kitty cat.
The perfect way to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I have a whole my cat died last year, and so like I have like a whole little like shrine to her, to Zuri. So and it looks like your cat was black.
Yeah, both black cats. Yeah, it's not even my cat. I just live with him.
That's how I am with this other cat. You might hear him. His name is Weasley. He's a big orange cat. We named him after the Weasleys. Yeah. He's annoying though.
So
oh
cute.
My God.
Well, that was Graham, who has featured in many a podcast, many a stream and video, and it's just got to the point where everyone thinks he's mine. So I'm just going to roll with it sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
No, just go with it. Go with it.
But yeah, hi. I'm Rosie. I was just going to say I was the charity officer at Safe in Our World. I actually have a new title now. So I am the communications officer and community manager at Safe in Our World, which is thank you. I haven't got a promotion. I just changed my title because it fit a lot better with what I do. Huge fan of games ever since I was a kid, to be honest. I've always had games in my life at some point. A huge fan of plants, as you can probably tell. I love
that you have so many plants in your room. Like I love the bit of nature that you've brought into your safe space. I love it.
I know I'm actually like missing quite a few at the moment because I'm in the process of moving. So there's a lot that I've just shipped off to my family right now, and I'm like, please look after them while I'm gone. So yeah, that'll be nice to get back to. But yeah, that's me.
I mean, that was a good introduction. Mm-hmm. I would give it a 10 out of 10.
I would give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah. So wait, very quickly before we move off, I have to ask, like, what are some of your favorite games? Like, what do you like to play?
Oh, okay. This could be a long list. Like,
yes. We're ready for it. Go ahead.
There's a few of them. Okay, so currently my all-time favorites: God of War,
yes,
Last of Us,
nice.
BioShock, Stardew Valley, like all of these. Binding of Isaac is also a huge top 10 of mine. Oh gosh, I've like forgotten all of the games that I've played.
It's okay.
You have a great list there already.
Yeah, it's a really good list. But I want to ask you a question before you go on. Like,
okay.
Like, what do you think of Kratos? I just want to know, like, do you think he's hot? Like,
absolutely.
Isn't he a zaddy? He's so hot. Listen, I
was thinking that, and I was like, should I say it or should I wait for someone else to say
it? No. He is, oh my God. Okay, moving on.
We don't have to.
Oh my God. Rosie, we are about to be best fucking friends. Look, there you go. I already dropped it.
I went on record on this I think it was for the Game Awards, and it was like the best game of all time, and they asked everyone, and I got to be on the video for it, and I was just talking about God of War and how much I loved it. So
nice, that's amazing.
That's my very small claim to fame.
I love it, and that's the perfect game to talk about. Literally, if he was alive. I mean, like so many. Okay, anyways, moving on. But thank you so much for sharing your list with us. I love some of the games you've played. Obviously, like you guys know my top that she named, but I also really love Stardew Valley, which is completely different. But let me ask you a really quick question before we jump into kind of like what we're going to do. If you could pick one game that you think has really helped you with your mental health, because that's kind of why we're here, what game would you say is like your top game for like that just kind of like helped you through like some of your mental struggles or whenever you were like stressed out?
So my answer is a bit odd because it doesn't really have anything to do with mental health, or it's not one of my like favorite games of all time. I love it, but I wouldn't go like it's the top. It's Kingdom. I don't know if you've played Kingdom before.
Okay.
It's by Raw Fury, and it is this gorgeous pixel art game, a side scroller, and you basically have a kingdom and you have to protect it from like the greed, which are the little evil people who come and get you,
Mm.
right? And that's kind of the concept of it. And you just build walls and grow, and then you find a boat, build it, and then move on to another island, and then you start again. And like I said, it's not really that relevant to mental health as such, but I played it during a really difficult time in my life. And it was the mechanics of the game rather than anything that I think helped me the most, because it was like I knew what was coming. I knew how to, nothing changed, like nothing that I couldn't handle changed. Um, and it was just something that I could just lose hours in and totally forget about what was going on. At the time, I just lost a friend who passed away, and I was at university, and so it was like I was away from a lot of my family anyway, and it was a really tricky time. So I was just like, I would spend a few hours playing this game and just like running around on a little pixelated horse, and it was just gorgeous. And so, yeah, I genuinely think that that's one of the biggest games for me.
I think that's perfect. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be a game that like is focused on mental health, but anything that you've played that helped you with your mental health is incredible. And I think that's one of the important things that we try to talk about and focus on our podcast is that games can help and have helped a lot of people dealing with multiple mental, struggles. So I love that that game was there for you. I'm really sorry to hear about your friend's passing, but um, yeah, I'm so bad with like words of condolences.
Yeah,
Is that the right word? Condolences?
no, it's I appreciate it, and it's a hard one because like no one ever knows what to say with
Right.
that sort of thing. But it was a long time ago. Like obviously, I'll never be over it or anything. But
Right.
I've
Oh,
come to I'm at peace with it, right? And being able to use that as a way to talk to other people who might be struggling with grief or who might be suffering a loss,
absolutely.
and just using games as a medium to kind of use those emotions in a healthy way rather than anything else is just a nice way to do it. So yeah.
I
It's
appreciate
it's
you sharing your story. I
it's
do,
always so
really.
interesting because like I feel like there's a game out there that's been there for everyone. You know what I mean? Like you never expect, and again, like as Destiny and yourself already mentioned, it doesn't necessarily have to be about mental health or be about a certain struggle in a certain way, but it was there for you, and that's the most important thing. So thank you for sharing. That's really cool.
No, I totally appreciate that, and I think it's honestly like one of the big things that I always push, because I think people are always a bit nervous to say like their favorite games and why they help them, but actually that's like the whole point of it, because everyone has a different experience with with games, and everyone has a different relationship with games, and so you
Absolutely.
have to listen to your own mind, your own body, and your own relationship to know what's going to be healthy for you and what's might be detrimental to your mental health as well. So it's finding that balance and finding the relationship for you.
Well said.
That was a really good, yeah, that was a
Yeah.
really, yeah.
Thanks.
I keep going. That was a really, also, I was making weird faces earlier, and it wasn't at you. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was trying not to sneeze in the middle of your monologue.
Let
I
the
was
sneeze
like,
out. It's okay.
oh my God, people are going to be like, why is she making that face? But no, that was great. And I love that you're sharing that knowledge and those tips with our listeners, because I mean, like, that's one of the main things that we've always talked about. And this is a perfect segue to go into what we're going to be doing this May. So this is kind of like an intro to the series that we're going to be doing, which is called POP, which is Power of Play. We're working with Safe in Our World because they kind of have the same feeling that we do, that games can really help people who are struggling with mental health, no matter what type of game it is. So I implore you to go check out their website. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like the website is so well done. It's incredible. It makes me want to do my own website. I probably won't, but please go check out their website. It's incredible. They've done so many things. At the end of this, we'll definitely link all of that stuff at the bottom. And also, let me just tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Actually, you know what? No, I've been talking a lot. Matt, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what our series is going to be
I
about?
saw the change in your brain.
Yeah.
You can just literally see like the track
It was like,
switch.
Yeah.
Like that like that lever was pulled and it was just yeah, for us, we're going to like Destiny mentioned, we're going to be working on Power of Play. There's going to be either 4 to 6 episodes. We're nailing down the exact length, but each week we're going to be talking to different people from the video game industry and from the mental health industry, spotlighting some awesome developers who have made really important games that focus in on mental health, as well as speaking to mental health professionals to kind of learn a little bit more about, coping strategies and different ways that you can, try and help yourself a little bit with whatever it is that you're going through at whatever time. So get ready, get excited for that, because there's going to be some cool games that we're going to talk about. There's going to be some amazing developers and some amazing professionals coming on to help us learn and to spotlight some incredible indie games that we feel need to be celebrated.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to tag onto that, because it just popped into my head,
It
is
popped.
Power Play just popped into my head.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll today. But for those people who are gamers and struggling with their mental health or just having a bad day, this is also a perfect series for people who are in relationships or have family members who don't quite understand how gaming can help you get through the things that you're going through. So I would definitely suggest maybe watching our what did we call the other one? Mental
health power up.
Mental health power up series that we did, and this one, because I know like sometimes you're in a relationship and the person just doesn't get it. Do you know what I mean? And they just don't understand. So I think it's incredible because we have had access to so many just wonderful people who are in the industries, whether they're psychiatrists, counselors, therapists. And if you're having a hard time explaining what you're dealing with and why games are so important to you, check out this series and check out our other series. And as I said again, please go check out Safe in Our World's website, because they have like a lot of information. But that being said, I hope you guys are excited, because we're excited. And we are going to jump right into giving you some more information about Safe in Our World, coming from the beautiful, lovely Rosie. So can you tell us a little bit more about what Safe in Our World does and kind of like your place in the gaming industry and the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't know, Safe in Our World is the video games mental health charity, and we're a worldwide charity, and we aim to help people globally. The point of what we're here to do is to eliminate the stigma around mental health, and allow people to feel comfortable enough to be able to reach out for resources and not feel as though they should be ashamed of it. And that's ultimately our goal. We want to make the gaming communities a safer place. We want to make the gaming industry a safer place to work in. And it kind of all began in 2017, I think. There was some initial conversations that started in an event in Shanghai by some people in the industry who are now actually our trustees. And they started raising money for a mental health charity, and then they kind of thought, well, actually, whilst we have this, it might actually be better going to a charity that works within the games industry, because we're all very aware of the issues that happen within the games industry. And then they realized there wasn't really one that they were looking for. And so they were like, right, we're going to make a charity. And that's kind of how it began. And so 2 years down the line, because charities are apparently really hard to get going and to get registered, we officially launched on World Mental Health Day in 2019. And yeah, it's so weird. And then I joined in 2020 during the pandemic. And so it was like, I think it was a very timely launch, because obviously it was just before the world went into chaos. And then mental health became very forefront and center with a lot of people. And so people were looking for somewhere to go to. And I'm glad that there was Safe in Our World was there to help. And so essentially what Safe in Our World is we work in like 2 different ways to be able to support people. One being we support gamers, as we've already talked about a lot in just the first 10 minutes of this podcast, is how much games mean to people and how much they can actually help people. And so many people have resonated with that. And it's so nice that we've been able to form a community where people are open to talk about mental health, using video games as a medium to do that, which is so cool, because a lot of people might not want to start talking about mental health, or they might be afraid to start that conversation. And if they're using it in a way that they're talking about mental health in a situation where they're most comfortable with people that they're comfortable with, and they're able to use that to talk about mental health, amazing. Like that's the perfect way to get people comfortable about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of one angle that we take. And we have support for gamers. So we have a list of global helplines, support information, all on our website at safeinourworld.org. We share stories of people who maybe are gamers themselves, maybe they're in the industry, of people who have gone through mental health struggles themselves. We've shared community stories as well about the same sort of thing. We highlight games that we think are positive for mental health, whether that is a positive, accurate like representation of mental health, or it's actually just something that we think, hey, this is like really relaxing game to play. It might be really good for you. And then, so that's kind of like one half of it. And then the other half is what we do for the industry. So I have a statistic. I don't know if it's going to be like really boring to share statistics, but I just think
No,
it's quite interesting, this one
please.
specifically.
Yeah.
So last year, the census in the UK games industry came back basically to say that 31% of the games industry in the UK experience anxiety, depression, or both, and the national average is 17%. This year, that has risen to 38%, which is nearly 2/5 of the games industry having anxiety or depression or both, which is wild to think about. It's over double the national average of people in the UK, at least. And so it's something that we need to address. It's something that we need to support our employees with. We've heard numerous accounts of employee misconduct or abuse within this industry, and we need to be able to offer somewhere where people can go for support, but also work within these companies to be able to eliminate that and change the culture of the industry, which is not an easy task,
Right.
I will say.
No.
And so kind of to tackle that, one of the things that we've launched is a campaign called the Level Up campaign, which is about leveling up mental health to be equal to physical health. And it is our kind of keystone initiative that we do. And we work directly with companies to be able to implement wellbeing strategies within their workplace, to provide training for mental health. We have just launched we've relaunched our community manager mental health course, which is free for community managers to go and learn about mental health and learn how to appropriately support themselves and their communities. And we managed to train up to 200 people last year, which was amazing. So we're hoping to do another 150 in the next however long the rest of the year we've got left, 8 months. So yeah, fingers crossed that's all going to go through. But we have so much to offer. We have a toolkit that guides people through like the next steps to do that. We're just about to expand our team to have someone full-time to work on this initiative specifically, to be able to work with people and help them get what they need to move forward in their well-being journey. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. And then I do that, but I don't do I don't know how to say this without like putting myself down. I do a lot of the fun stuff. So I anchor the podcast that we do, which again is an attempt to normalize the conversation about mental health. And we have lots of different guests on to be able to talk about their experiences within the industry. I manage the content on the website and the community aspect of that as well. So it's kind of all encompassing, I guess. And it's really exciting to be at the point where we're able to grow the charity and almost double our staff, but also
That's
just
incredible.
be like at the point where we're fully operational and like are really making a difference, So it's yeah, it's a great time to be working for the charity. And I've talked a lot, so I'm gonna like hush now for a little bit. But
No, no, it's fine because like that's why I asked you the question. I could never have explained everything that you do and the intricacies of Safe in Our World. But listen, I know you're like, I don't want to put myself down and that I do the fun stuff. You're literally kind of like one of the faces of the company, whether you realize that or not. Like when people probably think of it, they think of your podcast, they think of your face, and that's really important.
that's a scary prospect.
It's scary, but it's really, really important because you've taken on that role without even thinking about it. And I think that's absolutely incredible. I mean, like, you're the person that I talk to. So now I associate you with Safe in Our World and Jake, who could not be here,
To be
unfortunately.
fair, there are only 3 of us well, now there's 4, but there were only 3 of us when you first reached out. So we're very
See?
small.
See?
But
But
no,
you're
honestly,
doing
I
some
could not.
incredible things.
Yeah, I'm really proud of all of the team, to be honest. And like, we all work so closely together. Like, my manager, Sarah, is literally the most compassionate, understanding, and supportive manager I've ever had in my life. And it's like the whole team really just is very passionate about what we're doing. So it just makes life so much easier.
And I just love how multifaceted your approach to mental health in the gaming space is, because like you mentioned, right? Like I love that you're shouting out different stories from different people in the industry to kind of demonstrate that you can be in this space and continue to thrive in it regardless of who you are or what space you might be in mentally or physically, right? It's about learning and it's about recovery, while also shouting out the community, talking about the different games that impact it. And I think one of the most impressive is, like you mentioned, your Level Up campaign, because as we know, the gaming industry is young, but also because it's young, we have a lot of issues that just
Yes.
are inherently baked into it because of when everything came up, like too much discrimination. There's too much going on in this industry across big companies and small. So I love that you're going into the spaces and basically being like, here is what you can do to make the lives of your employees better so that they can turn around and then make content for people who will hopefully affect their lives in a positive way as well. I just love the approach because it's not just talking. You guys are actually working and making positive impacts inside the industry itself, which is fantastic and should be celebrated.
Yeah, thank
I'm
you.
celebrating you.
I just think it's super important as well to have, because the way I kind of see it is you've put it perfectly, but also we're trying to target everyone in every level, and so we really need
Mhm.
buy-in from the top of the top to be able to make this work. Because if we're trying to set an example for companies within the games industry, and perhaps one company has a great well-being strategy but none of the management listen to it, then is it really
Mhm.
worth the paper it's
Right.
on? So
Exactly.
it's a challenge for sure, but we've had like such an amazing response so far, and there are people who really want to change and really want to listen and learn, and it's fantastic. So I'm really hopeful for the future of Safe.
Aww, me too. And I just want to say thank you so much for like working with us on this series and coming on to talk with us and all of that, because I'm sure you guys are really busy, because there's probably a ton, not even probably, there's a ton of companies that need help fixing their stuff. And I just think it's incredible what you guys are doing. And if there is any way in the future that me and Matt or our podcast can help support you guys, please let us know, because mental health is really, really important to everyone who works with us. So,
I mean, you
Mhm.
say that, but you're literally doing a whole series on mental health, and a second whole series on mental health, which is incredible.
yeah.
Like that's so big, and I don't think you realize probably the impact that has on people, because it's
Thank
it's all
you.
part of normalizing the conversation and just being able to share that in like a fun, accommodating space is really
Mhm.
important. So
So I had a quick question, because I know we're kind of moseying on towards the end, but if you are someone who's working in the industry, right? Let's say you're a developer, let's say you're working for a game media publication or whatever, and you want to try and kind of bring level up mental health to your organization or to the spaces that you're in. What's a good way to kind of start that conversation? I don't know if you can share some like tips about like just getting the ball rolling, because I think it
A
can
little
seem like this big,
intimidating. Right.
exactly, intimidating. It can seem like this big,
Right.
massive endeavor, which of course it
of
is.
course,
But like, can you share any tips for like how to get that ball rolling, how to get that conversation started?
yeah, absolutely. I think the most important thing is send us an email, let us know we can help. We can jump on a call. We can talk any of this through. Like, we're very used to working with companies from thousands of employees to like 5 employees. Like, there is no big or small. Like, we're happy to work with anyone, and everyone is going to have their own journey within that. We're actually doing work at the moment to be able to break down the toolkit to make it a lot more like bite size for people to be able to, because it's stressful. Like, you go into it and you see like, oh my God, this is a really hefty document. There's so much stuff. Where do I start? And it's just like, it's okay. What you need to do is just figure out where you are now, what you want to achieve, and then we'll figure out how to get there. And we can do that in a really manageable way. And there's people to help. We're here to help. We have training to help. Like, there's a lot that you don't have to do on your own. And I think that's the key. You don't have to do it on your own. We also have a community of people who are already partners that can share insight on what they've done that is successful and their best practice. And that all really adds up to someone who maybe is like, what's one easy step that I can take to be able to make well-being a little bit better? And then you can do it step by step. So yeah.
Amazing.
So for anybody who may be working in the industry and like you feel like your company needs some help, please go check out their website. Feel free to email them, and don't be afraid, because as Rosie has said, they're there to help you, and you do not have to do this alone. And I think that's so important. I'm going to say it again. You do not have to go through this alone, and you don't have to put up with like a toxic environment. You shouldn't have to. So thank you again for sharing all of that information. We are winding down to the end of this, but before we go, Rosie, if anybody wants to reach out to you personally, or well, not too personal because that's kind of creepy, but if they like want to get in touch with you, like, can you give us like your social media platforms, like, so we can support you and our listeners can support you as well?
Yeah, of course. So you can find me shitposting a lot on Twitter at ArtyParty3. That is where I spend most of my time. I also do stream on Twitch, which is the same, twitch.tv/ArtyParty3. And if you want to follow Safe in Our World, it's literally at Safe in Our World on everything. It's really easy to find.
Nice. And guys,
yeah, come say hi.
We'll put all that stuff down below. Please go say hi to Rosie. She's absolutely incredible. Like a sweetheart. If you can't tell already, like, we're going to be best fucking friends because of our love for Kratos. But Rosie, thank you so much for coming and joining us. And like, I hope you enjoy your vacation, because I know this was the last thing on your docket. So I appreciate it.
Have a wonderful vacation.
Thank you. It's only 3-day weekend, but it's great.
That's still something better than nothing.
I'll take anything.
Take the win.
I'll take the win.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sticking with us this long. This is to all of our listeners. If you're ever going through anything, feel free to look at our, like I said, our, wow, my words.
Mental Health Power Up.
Thank you. Feel free to go to our Mental Health Power Up series. If you yourself are struggling with anything, or if you know anyone who's struggling with anything, like I said, you have access to so many different organizations on that. And so many different therapists and counselors who are there just to give you tips and information on how to deal with whatever you're dealing with. As of this series, guys, it's going to be exciting. Like I said, we have some developers coming on to talk with us about some of the games that they have made that have had a positive impact on mental health. And oh my God, I'm really, really excited for all of them, because like me and Matt have played like all of these games. Also, we're going to be streaming some games. We're going to be streaming this Thursday night. So after this goes up, if you guys want to check us out, we will be streaming at, I believe, 8 Eastern Standard Time, right? Your time? Because I'm CST and I get that confused. So please come check it out. All the games that we're going to be streaming for this month will be focused on mental health in some sort of way. So if you are interested in playing some like cool games, come check us out. Come say hi. We want to say hi to you. We love you. Please come say hello. And that's a wrap. Again, Rosie, thank you so much for coming on. You're going to come on again. You're already part of the family, so it's cool.
And this was so nice. Honestly, I had such a blast. Like, this is delightful.
I love it when our guests say that. I absolutely love it, because we want you to feel comfortable, and we want you to just be like, "Hey, can I come on your show again and just shoot the shit and maybe have a shot?" You know, it's all good. I didn't drink. I definitely didn't drink before this, guys. But after,
but now I think that you did.
Oh my God. Yeah, that backfired.
Just because you said it, now I'm like,
hard.
No,
Oh.
it did backfire pretty hard. Maybe I had a little sip. Anyways, all right, guys, thanks for joining us. Please remember to check out the rest of the series. We'll be dropping our episodes every Thursday and we'll be streaming every Thursday. We love you. Thank you for your support, and we will catch you on the next episode. Bye.